Yo, 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 what going on, everybody? It's your boy TBL to the wall. You don't know. Back with another video, man. Listen, I know you ain't seen me put out a long form content in the past couple of days, man. I just want to let y'all know. The reason is I've been working on this book, trying to get it finished for you guys, man. I've been putting a lot of hours, a lot of time, energy, and effort into making sure that this thing is right and it's coming out real soon. Like, as you can see, I ain't shave, I ain't braid my hair. Over here looking like a caveman. I've been putting nothing but non-stop dedication and hours into finishing this book, man. I want to make it dope for you guys. So I appreciate the patience. But we're here again with another video today, man. And the reason I'm making this video is because I was having a conversation in the gym today. This younger guy, man, and he was just kind of sort of complaining about, the way the dating market is today and why things are the way they are. And, it's so hard to find a loyal girl and all of that stuff. I was sitting on there thinking to myself, like, we shouldn't, if you're watching my videos and if you're following my content, we shouldn't really be making excuses for having a hard time trying to get, trying to get a girl, trying to get partners, trying to be successful with women. But I can acknowledge and recognize that things really are a lot different than the way they used to be. Now, don't get me wrong. Back in the day, right, things were always crazy. If you listen to some of the older love songs, man talking about, I want to do things to you that your man never used to do. Like, listen, my grandmother had 7 kids. I ain't gonna sit down here and pretend like people weren't being savages from way back in the day. But I do believe that things, for one, we're a lot more connected. There's a lot more visibility and all of the savagery. But there is a different playing field that we're working with now in terms of the quality of men and women and why things are happening and why things aren't happening and, the values and the perception and all of that stuff. So I think they all play a factor into this different dating market that we're experiencing now versus how things probably used to be. The differences in relationship that you saw for, people that's over the age of like 60 versus, in today's time, just the way people are with marriages and relationships and all that type of stuff. So the reason I'm making this video is I do want to identify and point out why things are the way that they are in today's dating market. Again, this is something to complain about. This is something to use as an excuse. I don't want you sitting on there and feeling like these are reasons why you shouldn't go out there and be successful with women. Like I said, if you're following the material that I'm giving to you in these videos, if you're following the material I'm about to give you in this book, you should have no problem being successful with women. But I can genuinely sit down here and say that things are a little bit different than they used to be. And I'm going to sit down and point out those reasons why in this video today. So let's get right into it. So number 1, social media. This one is obvious. With the advent of Instagram, right, and social media, attention has always been the currency. I remember talking back in the day to my boys, and I used to be like, yo, you have your girl, you're chilling with your girl, man, you give her a little attention and validation, and you get her right here. Let's call this like a 7. You got her to like a level of 7 of attention and validation. And then she go down the street, she walk down the street in the mall, some guy, hey, what's up, ma? Hey, beautiful, wherever. So she leave your house at a 7, and by the time she don't walk down the street, she don't get her ego kind of like filled up a little bit. She boosts up to like a 8. So she leave your house, you target the 7 version of her, and she gone out there, and these guys done swell her head up to an 8. So now she coming back to you with this 8 level, ego. And you're dealing with this 8 level girl that you still kind of was talking to at the 7. So now you got to kind of adjust and talk to her at the 8 and navigate that, bring things back to reality and all that stuff. That's what you used to deal with in your relationships typically before Instagram and internet and social media and all that stuff. Now, right, a girl could sit down in her house and she could go on her couch and she could post a picture in her underwear. And with one picture, in the span of an hour, she could get more attention and validation than your grandmother ever got in her entire lifetime. That constant flood of attention and validation, it changes how people value connection. It changes how people perceive the value of that attention. And to be honest with you, right, there is no man on this planet that can compete with the amount of attention and validation that girl can get on Instagram, online, from the hundreds and hundreds of men out there that want to slide in her DMs, like her pictures, and send her comments. The amount of dopamine hits she gained off of each like and comment, as a man, you could never compete with that. You can never fill that void. And to be honest with you, you shouldn't try to. You shouldn't waste your time trying to. But the fact of the matter still remains that the amount of attention, but she knows, right, that if she ain't getting attention at home with you, or if she ain't getting the feelings that she wants from you, maybe you're busy, maybe you're working, maybe you're tired, wherever, she knows that she can go online. She could pick up this phone. She could take one selfie. It don't even have to be a provocative selfie. But the amount of people are going to slide, hey, beautiful, hey, oh my God, what are you reading? What are you doing? The amount of attention that she is going to get, you can never compete with, bro. Problem with that, though, is it's not about quality anymore. It's just about the stimulation. It's about the ego bump. The fact of the matter is, women are naturally competitive in nature. They compete with other women. So whenever they get that attention and that validation, it is an ego boost. It literally gives them a dopamine hit. The difference is now, it's all superficial and artificial. They sit down at home, all of these likes coming in, all of these DMs coming in, and giving them all this attention, all of this validation, and it's like drugs, Because think about it. When a drug addict, right, take that first hit, there's like this rush. Listen, I never take drugs, just to be clear. I never take drugs. But the stories I've heard, you know what I mean, when a drug addict takes drugs, is that first high is incredibly intense. And then they spend the rest of their life chasing that high. It's kind of similar with attention and validation. It's like these girls that get that dopamine hit, them and they get out of that rush of attention and validation. Hundreds and hundreds of dudes, one person, whether it be the boyfriend, the husband, or the man, one person's attention and validation is never going to be enough to compete with that. They're never going to get that massive hit that they're going to get from all those people from that one person. And that's part of the reason why genuine connection now feels so rare. And that's how crazy it is, right? I promise you, a lot of these girls, right, go have a solid, perfect dude in front of them. I'm talking about taller than 6 feet, six-pack abs, and no kids, making over 6 figures, great job, slinging a Charlie good looking dude, God-fearing, real good guy. And if you was to tell like, yo, you could have this dude that's amazing. The only thing you have to do is delete your Instagram. That's all you gotta do. A lot of these girls will let that guy go because they don't want to get rid of their Instagram. They can't get rid of the access to all of that attention and validation. They would give up that dude to keep their Instagram, just to keep that ability to have access to all that attention and validation. Attention has always been the currency, It's always been the drug in a way. But social media has been the delivery system that amplifies it 1,000-fold. And this one goes right into point number 2. Point number 2 is hypergamy and the illusion of options. And I explained what hypergamy was in one of my previous videos. Go look it up. What is hypergamy? Is it real? All that stuff. This has always been a thing. From in the caveman days, women always used to, implement hypergamy. They used to always try to go after the best man possible. At the end of the day, you wanted to make sure that you had the strongest, most capable man for hunting. And you always wanted to go after the best option possible. That's something that women are biologically wired for. It's not like it's something that's ever going to change. So don't sit down here saying like, how do I fight hypergamy? Because you'll be wasting your time. Hypergamy is real, and I explained to you, like I said in my video, what it is, why it's real, why it matters, and why it doesn't. But that's not what this video is primarily about. But it is one of the reasons why things are the way that they are. Because of hypergamy, right? You have these girls on social media, and they're not only looking at all of these other girls' life, just, they're posting all of their trips and their weddings. And, first of all, social media gives the presentation of just the highlights of people's lives. So everybody's life looks way better than it actually is in real life. But these women are watching all of these different pages and just seeing what all of these girls are, what they're getting, the gifts they're getting, the cars, the flowers, all of this stuff that people are curating and presenting as their lifestyle. Not only are they competing with those women, they are also looking at all of these men that are providing these things. They are seeing men that they believe have helicopters and Lambos and everybody on Instagram, by the way, presenting their life in the best light possible. They're trying to make themselves look as cool or as rich or as successful, their lifestyle as lavish as possible. So these women are now sitting down here saying, why am I with this guy when this guy is doing that for her? And you pretty much sitting down there, a sitting duck, right? Working your regular job. You might be making decent money. You might be living a solid life. You might be capable of providing more than enough to make this girl happy, take care of the bills and stuff. But she ain't looking at it like that. She looking at it like, well, why am I settling for this when I could have that guy that's on that yacht or on that jet or on that helicopter or traveling to the Maldives or Dubai or whatever? She's sitting down there thinking to herself, why am I settling when there's so much more options out there? And it must be real because so much other women are getting success with so much of these other options. So why am I settling for this regular guy in this regular town? It's just the sheer belief and knowledge of this. It puts girls in a position where they feel like, why am I settling? I don't have to settle. I don't have to be happy with just this. I need more. There's always a better option out there. And if you think about it, right, back in the day, women, hypergamy was always a thing. Like I said, they always wanted to go after the best man possible. So back in the day, women would go after the best man in their environment. If they were in a small town, maybe he was the head of a business or he was a lawyer or a doctor or whatever, she would still want to go after the best option available to her in that environment, but she was still limited really to the space and the geography of where she was. Maybe she might go to the neighboring city or the neighboring township or wherever, and there might be a couple guys there, but for the most part, she had to pick her the litter based off of the guys she had access to, depending on where her her own sexual market value was if those guys wanted her back. Like the captain of the football team would go after the cheerleading captain or whatever. You know what I mean? Just for example. No, right? Because of social media and hypergamy just naturally being a thing, these girls, they ain't stopping there. She could be in the middle of Ohio. She could sit down there and just pose that bathroom selfie and she'll have princes in Dubai and athletes and Drake and Chris Brown and all kind of celebs and influencers in her DMs. In her mind, like, she have all of this access. She have all of these different guys that she would have never had access to before in comparison to back in the day. Back in the day, the dating pool was just a neighborhood. Now is the entire world. The entire world is your dating market. Having that access alone kills loyalty. It kills it before it even starts. So let's get into point number 3. Modern feminism and I don't need a man era. Now, back in the day, women didn't have the same rights that they have now. So I get it. Feminism was important. Feminism was brought about to create some type of balance, to create equal rights between women and men so that they could have equal opportunity. I all for it. Listen, I ain't no problem with women having the same opportunities available to them that men do. As human beings, we should all have the access to opportunities equally and fairly. But what feminism was then and what it is now are two completely different things. Before, like I said, feminism was about balance. Now, it's more about superiority. Feminism is now promoting that women are better than men. You don't need men. Pitting men and women against each other. You're telling women that you don't need a man. You could do that by yourself. You're independent. Men ain't shit. Men are trash. Men are evil. You know, men are villains. And then on top of that, right, we have this sexual liberation. We are encouraging women to be completely sexually liberated, meaning they could go there, they could sleep with who they want, they could throw their pum pum at every swinging Charlie available to them because they have the right to, because they should empower themselves. And it sounds good enough. It sounds empowering. Listen, you go, girl. All it really do is it replaces the balance that we're supposed to have as men and women with ego. Now everybody try and prove that they don't need nobody. And instead of working together, they're competing with each other. So many women spend so much time trying to compete with men and be better than men rather than trying to have a man. I personally believe modern feminism is toxic. When I was out in these streets dating men, if I come in contact with a modern feminist, I'd have run for the hills. I can't even take that girl serious. Listen, I have for empowering women. I have a daughter. I want my daughter to feel empowered and powerful and secure in herself. I want her to be able to make her own choices and make her own decisions. But I also teach my daughter to be able to recognize how to choose a good man. So that when she chooses that man, she can trust his leadership and trust his guidance. Now you have society telling women that they don't need men. They are superior to men. Men are bad guys. You know, men are evil. Men do bad things to women. Men harm women. Men attack women. And this just ain't the case. Men are here to protect. We are here to provide. And women are nurturers. They are supposed to be the supporting foundation in every house. We both have our roles to play that are equally important. And modern feminism is trying to strip those roles away and take us so far away from the traditional things that made us families back in the day. And this takes me to my next point. Traditional values are completely extinct. If anything, we have a lot of women expecting men to be traditional and protect and provide without giving those traditional values to the men. A lot of women, they're getting shamed for wanting to have kids and be housewives and clean. You go on TikTok and you're seeing girls, they made a mockery of it. They say I stay at home and I cook for my husband. They call them pick-me's and they're shaming women for doing this type of stuff. But the whole traditional things that kept us together as families back in the day is completely eroded. Men used to go out there, they used to work, they used to hunt, they used to get the money, they used to get the bread, they used to come home and take care of families. Women used to stay home. The man used to take care of the house, the man used to take care of the kids. I used to make sure that there was a home to come home to. And it is a hard job. It's not like staying at home and taking care of the house and handling all the kids and making sure the house clean. And it's not like it's an easy thing. It's a full-time job. That was the beautiful thing about it, man. We had roles. We had responsibilities. We both brought something very important to the table. Because, you know, you always have people saying what you bring to the table. Right now, we live in a world where masculinity is shamed and femininity is mocked. We have guys that have no purpose, that are not masculine, that are not handling business. And then we have a bunch of women that we are training and teaching to be more masculine and to compete with the men. All of the traditional responsibilities and roles are completely out the window. We even telling people that men could be women, women could be men, and there's this spectrum of all kind of stuff in between. And I ain't really trying to get into all of that. But the whole point is, right now, the things that made us who we are, the things that made us what we are, how we work together as a team collaboratively, the support for each other that we were supposed to bring, and what made us a whole, what made us a family, that created the environment to actually have kids and raise those kids in a healthy, nurturing place. All of those things are thrown out the window. The problem with this here, right, is that men are naturally supposed to be masculine in their core, and women are naturally supposed to be feminine in their core essence. And because we're so disconnected from those natural core essence of who we are, the polarities are messed up. And attraction is built on polarity. Feminine women want masculine men. And when you have a man that's not masculine with a woman that's trying to be feminine, the polarities are whacked out. It doesn't work. There is no balance. It's like yin and yang. All of the traditional values are extinct, man. The core essence of masculinity and femininity is completely washed out. And it's creating a confusion that leaves both men and women disconnected from who they really are. Like I said, I ain't making this video to complain enough. Acknowledging and recognizing how things are right now. This shouldn't stop you from being able to go out there and being successful with women and having successful relationships. But the reality is we have reached to a point to where that balance, that normal, traditional balance, is considered controversial. It's almost like you sound crazy when you start talking these type of things. I'm pretty sure I have a bunch of people telling me I'm a misogynist right now because I'm saying that women should be at home, nurturing, taking care of the house, taking care of the kids, and that I'm a narcissist and all those crazy things that you like to hear people throw out and shame. No, because if things were so great right now, we wouldn't have the divorce rate where it is. We wouldn't have so many women and so much antidepressants. We wouldn't have the self-deletion rate for men so high. Like, people genuinely are happy. And that's part of the reason, like I said, why I made this channel. I made this channel so that men, you can understand how to navigate this dating market. And you can actually have success with women. Not just success meaning like sleeping with them and going out and about and having a rotation of girls, but I mean actually having successful, healthy relationships, creating families and having happy lives. That's the point of this channel. That's the point of the book I write in. That's the point of these videos. You could go out there and have success with women and relationships. But let me get to the last point. And this is why I say I don't necessarily blame the women now. I blame the men. And let me tell you why. As a society, men are the leaders of society. And weak men are the problem. Simps and weak men have completely changed the game. The truth is, man, a lot of this imbalance is fueled by men, by weak men. Every time a guy sends money, attention, time, validation to a woman that gives nothing back, he inflates her ego and he changes his standard. Now, the good men that are out here actually putting in work, showing up, providing, protecting, showing effort, it don't really mean as much because you have a lot of guys out there that are willing to give away a lot of that type of stuff for free. It's pretty much supply and demand. A lot of these men lead it with their wallets. The man going out the gate offering money. Some of these OnlyFans girls is millionaires, showing pictures of their feet. You have so many thirsty guys out here that are willing to just pay to play. I try my best in creating this channel to sympathize and empathize with the men that feel, right, like they need to do this in order to get attention back from women. But it has created such an imbalance. It's actually adding more fuel to the fire, doing more harm than good. The more you pay to play, the more you allow women to think and feel like they just have to exist. And because of that, they're going to get your time, your money, your attention, and your validation without having to give anything back. You are adding and encouraging the narrative that currently exists with a lot of women in the dating market today. When in reality, all you have to do is become a man that has his own value. Learn this game. Learn the material I'm teaching you. You don't have to pay to play. And don't get me wrong, you're paying in some form of fashion. You're buying the clothes you're wearing. You're paying for your haircut. You're paying for your cologne. You're paying for these dates. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what's your cash out. Let me buy you a Birkin bag just to go out on a date with you, just to talk to you, just to send you a message and get a response from you on OnlyFans or Snapchat or wherever it is. Let me give you $50. Like, that's crazy. You are creating an environment where you are just giving away your value. Let me tell you something, right? Women control access to sex, but men are the ones that control access to relationships. What does that mean? Obviously, as a man, you can't get sex without a woman giving you access to it. But a woman cannot get a relationship without that man giving her access to it. A relationship comes with protection, providing resources, time, and attention. Those are the things that we have that's our value as men. And let me tell you why. Because we're not born with it. We have to earn it. We have to earn money. We have to go to the gym and work out and try and get our looks up and get our talk game up. As men, we want the ability to find a partner that we could potentially have kids with. That's essentially what it boils down to on a biological level, at least. So as men, once we giving that away for free without getting back anything in return, we just giving away our value and it's creating an imbalance. Now, I'm not saying that because you do something for a woman, she needs to give you sex. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the things that make us inherently valuable, we out the gate offering it up for free without getting the woman that's feminine, nurturing, communicates with us, is supportive of our goals and our dreams and our missions and can jump on our program and uplift our lives and create the opportunity and the possibility to have a family together and have kids. And when we have those kids, willing to stay home and take care of those kids and help and provide a warm environment for you to come home to after you go out there into the trenches and you're working hard, be a supportive partner and a collaborative person in the aspirations and the visions of your collective dreams. Like, that's what I mean when I say get something in return, because that's what you should want in a partner. Those are the things that you should want in a person that you're going to take serious in a relationship. But instead, you have guys that are going on Twitter and OnlyFans and, Snapchat and IG and all these different platforms, and they're just out there sending money and sending gifts just because they want the girl to message them back. It's crazy. Listen, if you're doing this, or if you know somebody that's doing this, man, send them at my channel. Make sure that they like and subscribe. Make sure that they're following the content that I'm out there putting out. You do not need to be out there sending these girls money. You could be putting that money into your business, into your purpose, into uplifting yourself, into becoming the man that you need to be, so that you could actually have the options and have the lifestyle that you could create and provide for a woman and for a family and for all those things. So like I say, I just identifying what some of the factors are as to why things are the way that they are. Now, if you are following my channel, if you are listening to the things that I'm teaching, when I put this book out, if you digest the material that's going to be in this book, you are going to understand how you need to handle yourself, how you need to carry yourself, finding your purpose, doing the things that you need to do to become the type of man that you need to be. Not for these women, but for yourself. And in doing so, the side effect and the byproduct is that you are going to be able to attract the type of woman that you deserve in your life. Don't let the current climate and culture deter you from feeling like you could go out there and find a quality woman, because they do exist. There's a lot of them out there. Statistically speaking, right, there's so many women in this world that there's so many good women out here that want a good man. I don't mean a nice guy, but a good man that they could have quality relationships with and start a family. I promise you that. But with all the noise and what you see online and all of the social media and the TMZ and the shade room and all these polarizing podcasts and all these things, it'll have you out here believing that things are just futile and oh my God, it's the end all be all. Like, things are rap. It's not. But I will acknowledge and I will say that things are a lot different than how it used to be for our parents and our grandparents and stuff. It is different, especially with social media. Social media, modern feminism, all the things I mentioned in this video. It changed the game a lot, man. But don't think that you have to go fly to the Philippines or Thailand or one of these, third world countries to find a girl, and you just see like these passport bros and all this stuff. You don't gotta do that. There's a lot of quality women right here in the United States. They might be a little bit more scarce, a little bit more harder to find. I ain't gonna lie to you. You gotta be a little more patient. You definitely gotta vet your women. And like I said, make a video about that too. Vetting women, the red flags and the green flags. Make a bunch of videos about this type of stuff, man. How to properly vet your women and find quality women and stuff. But they're out there. And if you are following the content and you are doing the things that I teach, you'll be able to find one, vet one, do the things necessary to attract her, keep her attracted, and keep things moving forward in a successful way. So I just wanted to make this video, man, because like I said, there are factors for why things are the way they are. And it's important to know what they are, because it'll help you kind of navigate the landscape. It'll help you understand it. It'll help you understand it so you don't take it personal. Because the whole point of this is you shouldn't take it personal. The game is the game. It has always been the game, and the game ain't gonna change. So if this video was helpful, and you found this information useful, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If you know someone that could benefit from this information, send them my channel. I do offer one-on-one coaching. The link is in the description. Follow me on our platforms. And until the next one, man, it's TBL to the world. You done know. Wait, before I say that, like I said, the book is coming out soon. I'm going to do some type of giveaway or contest. I don't know what it is yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I definitely going to do something where, one of my subscribers is going to, one or maybe a few of my subscribers is going to have the ability to get their hands on a copy of it. I still got to figure out what that is, because like I say, I am actually still writing it. I don't want to give too much of it away still. Let's just say it's going to be everything that you need to know in order to have success with women and be the man that you need to be. It is going to be a great piece of learning material, and I'm excited to bring it to you guys, man. But like I say, until then, follow me on our platforms. And until the next video, man, it's TBL to the world. You're done, man.